the biggest adjustment you guys can make for tonight's game?
I don't know if there's one thing. Mostly execution. And then if you look at the goals that we gave up, the D have to be better, I think, in those areas. And but there's plenty of things that we're looking to improve on.
With that Kachuk line, especially when they have the puck in the offensive zone down low, like what are the keys to trying to keep them off your net?
Yeah, I think trying to end plays earlier. Obviously, they like playing in behind the net, playing down low in the zone. So it's important that we're jumping pucks, we're quick to end plays, and they got other lines that have been playing well as well. In different areas. So. Our group just has to be ready to go. Like I said, there's going to be a number of adjustments that we have to make in order to play better. But that's what we're doing here this morning, and by tonight we'll be ready to go.
Morgan, they're a pretty physical team, and it certainly feels like you guys tried to match that in game one. You had a big hit, a lot of your teammates did as well. What's the line between letting them know you can match that, but also staying within who you guys are, your identity?
Yeah, I don't think we went out of our way to play any differently and try to match what they were bringing. I think that just kind of comes naturally over the course of a game. And truly, I don't think there's much changing with how we play or who we want to be or how we want to play. But I think when the game is kind of going that direction, we obviously have the guys that are able to play a different style or play a more physical style. But, we're not going to change who we are. We're not going to try to, reinvent the wheel. We're going to try to stick to our game, stick to what makes us successful, and that's playing with speed and, playing with the puck.
You say you're not going to change who you are. Have you guys dictated play enough in the playoffs as to being who you are? You watch some of the other teams and you think you can see exactly who they are. You think you've kind of been a little...
Yeah, no, I think that's accurate. I don't think we have. I think if you look at the Tampa series, obviously they control game one and, we control game two. Then other than that, I don't think we were dominant by any means. And I think if you look at game one of this series, we're looking to bounce back. So, we have to kind of establish that in our game and, within this series. And, again, there's going to be a number of changes that our group's looking to make. And, controlling play, controlling the puck, ending plays in our D zone quicker are things that we're going to look to do in order to change the tides in terms of who's controlling the play.
Morgan, this city waited 20 years, 19 years for second round. Mark Giordano waited his whole career for the second round. In the year that you've worked with him, what sort of stood out about him, and what do you appreciate about his game at this point in his career?
With Gio?
Yeah.
I think he's just got a great approach. Obviously, he's been a good player in this league for a long time, and lots of experience. And I think whenever you do one thing for as long as he's played in the NHL, you just it just becomes a part of you. And I think with him, I think that's obvious. And he's an outstanding teammate and a great person. And for him to play as long as he has, and then to be here and playing for his hometown team and be in a position now in the playoffs and to be playing well and everything, I think it's great. And he's an extremely valuable part of our group, and what he brings in terms of blocking shots, obviously being the all-time leader in that area, and penalty killing, and the experience he has is extremely valuable to our group, and he really enjoys what he does, and he's just got the personality where it's very contagious when he's around, and he's having fun right now.
When you were talking about changes, does that extend to the power play, or is it just a matter of the puck's going to fall eventually?
Yeah, we did the power play meeting this morning, and there was, I thought there was lots of good things in the moment, but then when you watch it back, I think it kind of confirms it. I think we're moving around pretty good. Obviously, when you don't get one, that's a big impact on the game. So we have to figure out a way to score on the power play. But I thought that there were some pretty good things going on. There's always going to be changes and adjustments that you want to make, but ultimately, I thought that the two we had early in the game, I thought we were moving around pretty good. Not scoring again is crucial to the outcome of the game. So we'll look to change that. And other than that, I think we have confidence with the group and the structure we have in place, and it's just a matter of kind of sticking with it and being resilient and making sure that the power play makes a difference for our group.
Morgan, I haven't had a chance to ask you since the announcement. What have you seen in Mitch's game that's allowed him to become a Selke Trophy candidate?
Yeah, I think he's kind of been in that conversation now for a while. At least in my opinion. I think how he plays is outstanding. And I think for a young person watching the game, You know, what he does, I think, is awesome to see. You know, how he plays a 200-foot game, how much he cares defensively, how much he cares about the penalty kill. You know, he's not just one-dimensional, you know, offensive powerhouse. He truly cares about playing defense and blocking shots and playing on the penalty kill. And I think for, you know, any young player who likes watching hockey, I mean, I would watch him, because, you know, how he plays the game is outstanding, and how much he cares about the outcome of the game rather than just his personal stats, and how he moves the puck and what he sees is impressive.
Well, in doing a piece on the impact of first overall picks on franchises, you've been here for a long, long time. The answer goes without saying, but when Austin was dropped into the mix here in 2016, what did that do for the franchise?
It's tough to articulate properly, but he's had a positive impact on the franchise, I would say. No, he's obviously, I mean, even like among first overall picks, he is a standout. You know, you look at you know, players that have been drafted in that position. You know, it's not so much hit and miss, but there is a range of impact, you know, that can be made. And I think if you look at Austin, the year that he had last year, the player that he is, the player that he's been his whole career, you know, even just the playoffs, I think his first year we made the playoffs, and we made it ever since. And up until that year, it hadn't been as consistent. So he's a world-class player, and a great human being, and he came in, and, you know, like I said, he did some good things, and he continues to do it. And you know, we're very fortunate that he's turned out to be the player that he is, and, you know, he's going to continue to work and get better. And you know, it's really hard to state the importance, you know, that he brings, or, you know, who he is. And but I would say that one was a win for us.
What has to change tonight?
You know, we just gotta play a little harder. You know, capitalize on a couple chances, and it's a different game out there.
How is that Tkachuk line looking to you right now? Like, what's the biggest challenge they present?
Yeah, they're playing well. They played really well last series. Last game they played really well. They're good down low. They're physical. We just got to be able to match that, and with them especially, and you know, kind of contain them as best we can.
Is that important because it will end possessions for them down low, the physicality with them?
Yeah, if we can anticipate their, you know, what they're wanting to do behind the net, and kind of be a little physical, break up that play, I think that'll help us out.
What do you guys got to do to play more in their end?
I think we just got to possess the puck. We got to be a little better on the forecheck, and you know, we got to want the puck.
When you were younger, how long did it take you to figure out the fine line of, you know, you're in a playoff series, you want to make the other team pay physically, but you don't want to chase that physicality, put yourself out of the play? Like, how long did that take to figure that out?
Well, I mean, you never want to chase a hit. Can kind of put you out of position, and, you know, something like that. Or if you're chasing a hit, could potentially get a penalty. You know, the hits will present themselves. The physicality will present themselves. It's just, you know, being smart about it. Take the hit when you can, and you know. But I think every guy in this league's smart enough now where you can kind of, you know when to throw a hit and when to, you know, maybe lay off just for, you know, defensive purposes.
Noel, you were going to face a former team either way in this round, the way it shook out. I'm just wondering what your thoughts were when you saw Florida get by the Bruins.
Yeah, you know, it was a great series between those guys. Like you said, I was going to play former team, former friends. You know, but either way, I was ready for whatever had happened, and with it being Florida, you know, just another step for our team. And you know, my game's not going to change depending on who we were playing. I'm going to play my heavy game, and, you know, I was ready, excited for the challenge.
You guys played enough Maple Leafs hockey in the playoffs?
I'm sorry?
Have you guys played enough Maple Leafs hockey, dictating play?
Yeah, I think at times we have. There's other times we haven't, and we obviously want to get back to that. I think, you know, last series in Game 2, after we had a good response, and I think that was our Maple Leafs hockey, and we want to to have that same mentality going into tonight's game.
You come out of the first round leading the league, your team leading the league in takeaways, and still do today. Is that a good sign that you're on?
That's a good sign that we're hungry. We want the puck, and we want to hold on to the puck, and when we don't have it, we want to get it back. So I think that speaks for our team and how bad we want the puck.
No, GM's rolled the dice at every trade deadline. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Kyle it's worked out so far here. Why has it been such a good fit for all the new guys in that room?
I think just how inviting this organization, this team was, and how they were willing to do anything to make sure that we were comfortable and that we could play our best. And I think that helped me personally, and I think every other guy in the locker room that came over the deadline to play to our potential and make it as easy transition as possible. You
guys showed as well that you and Ryan were on the first plane here, right? Was it like walking in that first day? Can you tell us about sort of the first handshakes with the group?
Yeah, it was awesome. Just seeing the smiles on the guys' faces, and you never know going into a new locker room but every guy here welcomed us and was excited to have us, and ready to do something special with this team.
Who are you still close with on the Florida side, and have you had to go radio silent with those guys?
Close with a lot of those guys, Gudis, Ekblad, Bob, Benny, Duclair, all those guys that I played with, I was close with them. It's funny, potentially just running into them, just the smirk, but it's business, and we'll talk after the series. Right now we're focused and focused on Game 2 now.
You're talking about the physical play. I'm wondering what it does for the bench. When, obviously we know Schenn's, he's the human eraser. He's going to erase guys. But when Rielly has a big hit like he did on Stahl the other night, what's that do for the team?
Oh, it's great. Just seeing someone that might not throw a big hit like that, kind of buy into what needs to be done to win. And I think he's shown it all playoff series, and I think guys feed off it. So I think seeing that kind of generates the bench, the fans, and, again, we feed off that.
Just a little bit stronger on pucks on their end, and sustained offensive zone pressure in their end.
Specifically with that Kachuk line right now, what's the biggest challenge?
Yeah, they're rolling. They get everything at the net. They're strong in front of the net, and got to pick up sticks and box out as best you can.
How much is physical play going to be an asset? Noel was just saying down low, especially in hand possessions. How can you use, physicality against those guys?
Yeah, they're very physical, and I like to think we're pretty physical in the back end as well. So it's just 50-50 pucks. You got to come up with more than them.
What's it do for the team when Morgan lands a hit like he did last game on Stahl? Because we don't necessarily think of him as a physical player.
Yeah, I don't think us guys in here are necessarily surprised, but it's the presence he brings every night is whatever the team needs, and that's what he's showing up the next long.
How would you assess our team so far through these playoffs?
Up and down a little bit. I'd like to be better. I'd like my best hockey's yet to come.
What does your best hockey look like in this environment?
Keeping pucks out of my net when I'm out there, and having a good first pass and being strong against the best guys.
On the Verhaeghe play at the end of the second quarter, he scores. How do you see that unfold?
Yeah, I just can't join the rush there.
What would you say is the biggest difference between how the Panthers attack and how the Panthers attack?
A lot of similarities between both. Yeah.
What do you like about how the team's responding to losses? Right, Game 2 was a really great, maybe your best playoff game of the league.
Yeah, I'm hoping to replicate that tonight.
Emphasis on Florida's speed and transition. I guess how much has been a point of emphasis for you guys after Game 1 and your meetings?
Yeah, definitely we have to handle the speed better. I think they're very quick at it. They put the puck in the air and then they just come at us with a lot of speed. So, for us, we have to be better with it. We have to put ourselves in better positions to, not give them that clean speed, if that makes sense.
What's got to change, I guess, against that Kachuk unit?
A lot. We looked at a lot of stuff of them. We see, how hard they work. Every little detail they put into it. It's been, it's a tough challenge. But as a group, we have to defend better. We have to make it harder on them. And I think at times we got a little too passive. So just being a little more aggressive, more assertive with that line, hopefully can just make it more difficult on them.
Physicality, I guess, part of that, especially when they have it down low.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think we got to initiate contact quicker. If we do that, no matter who you're playing against, it makes it life difficult on them. So it's definitely a big focus for us.
When you get cut so close to the eye, Ryan, does it make you think about the visor at all?
No, I don't know if it would have mattered on that. The way kind of stick kind of just came up and hit it, but no, definitely don't really think about it.
We're used to you being like a rink rat, last guy on in practice. What went into you staying off the ice, I guess, yesterday?
I just thought it was good. I thought it was good to get a break. It was hard game, last one, and just kind of need the rest.
Where are you at on the draw? The last, I guess, few games. I guess the one game in Tampa, but like, how are you feeling on faceoffs right now?
Yeah, well, the last game in Tampa obviously was very ugly, to put it nicely. But the last game was a little bit better at times. I just gotta just stay in the process of it. We want to win every draw, but you just gotta take it one at a time and go from there.
How much of an adjustment is it when you go from one series to the next? Because you've been through it, but a lot of guys here haven't, in terms of the style of play and recalibrating a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's every team is different. Every situation is different, and I think as a group we're kind of feeling that one a little bit, trying to see what it was going to be like, and came around to bite us. But it's different. You have to kind of try to dictate right away and get back in it, and I think that's what we're trying to do tonight. Establish our game and build from there.
Game 2 last round was probably your best playoff game of this run. Like, what do you like about how the group responds in this situation?
Yeah, the way we just kind of got back to just our details and kind of dictated. We put just the way we communicated, the way we skated, every little detail we put into everything. I think made just an impact, and that's what we have to do tonight to just again stay in the process of it, but let every little play matters and be effective with it.
Thinking on the power play, chances, like, is it just do what you've been doing, or is there anything you can adjust to push it across the line?
I think there's little things we talk about, and obviously can't share those things, but we did do some good things. We had some good looks. We didn't capitalize, but we still got to keep working. The opportunities are going to be there, and it's going to be one of those things that I think can spark some offense for us.
Right, trade deadlines are sometimes a roll of the dice for GMs. It does work, sometimes it does. Why does it work so well with this group, with all the guys that brought in, yourself included?
Well, I think being on that side of it coming into this team, it's been a great team all season. Not just from us coming in here and such, but for myself, being part of this group, having seen them, watching them all year, the confidence that they have, that for us, just coming in, we can enjoy it and bring what we bring to help kind of hopefully elevate it. So it's one of those things you enjoy, but when a good team's established here, you can really try to contribute.
And you, Noel, you guys want to get here as quick as possible. How excited were you to get to this group to see what was all about?
Yeah, obviously we know the focus that has been here and it's been talked about all season, and trying to make a run. To be a part of that's a huge thing. Yeah, it really changed the whole season in that sense. But it's one of the things. Just so excited.
What's the biggest thing that's got to change tonight?
I don't know if there's one thing in particular. I mean, it's I think we got to get skating a little bit more and be a little bit harder on the forecheck, harder in the D zone. Like I said, give them credit. They played well last game, but saying that playoffs are supposed to be hard in terms of defending and battling and coming out of the corners with the puck or taking care of the front of your net or being hard in front of their net. That's what playoff hockey is. So I think we need another level as far as that goes.
You laid a pretty big hit on Kachuk in the last game. How big is physicality going to be when it comes to slowing that down?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, him, Bennett, and Cousins plays a little bit of a chippy game and good in the corners of that. But yeah, obviously Kachuk and Bennett, they play a heavy game. They're real effective with using their bodies and their size and sort of a power forward sort of game. And like I said, they're good around the net. They're good in the corners. So yeah, I mean, you expect the physicality to pick up as the series goes on here for sure.
Right, is that especially important, like down low? Like, how do you neutralize their down low play? Is it physicality can kind of end those sequences sooner, do you feel?
Well, you got to be quick, right? And yeah, I think that's the whole thing is you don't want to be stick checking or looking at the puck. Yeah, for sure, you gotta be heavy down low. And at the end of the day, you see the teams that win. Those are the teams that are usually most effective of being heavy down low and taking care of the slot and things around the goal.
Game 2 in that last round, probably your best playoff game so far. Like, what do you like about how the group responds to losses?
Yeah, I mean, you got to respond to. That's one thing about playoffs. You have a short memory, good or bad. Obviously, you come off a win and you feel like you got a little momentum, but the other team is going to respond, and you're going to come out there and push that much harder, or vice versa after a loss too. You always got to push, and that's what makes it so fun and intense. And you try not to get caught up in the roller coaster for sure. After losses, you sit there and you digest it a little bit, and you watch the video and correct some things, but yeah, you're always looking forward to the next one for sure.
What do you like about the McCabe Brody when they're at their best, that pair, and how they can be kind of that shutdown duo?
I think they're both really good skaters. They're both, good gaps and move the puck pretty efficiently. And obviously, McCabe, you've seen how he's been playing physically throughout the playoffs here. So he's another one of those guys that plays with an edge. And Rhodes, I think he's a real elite skater and puck mover, and kind of find his way out of trouble by skating his way out. So yeah, they're both playing solid, and we all got to be good. I mean, it's not a one pair, it's not a one forward line, or you need everyone. You need depth. You need the top boys going, and when it all comes together in playoffs, that's usually the teams that pull it together.
We've seen teams who took big who took big swings at the deadline, already battled the playoffs so far. As a new guy who came to this team at the deadline, why do you think it's been so successful here for the new guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say. Deadlines are always funny. Sometimes teams go for the big home run and go for the big guy, or sometimes teams add depth, and just depends on personal needs, I guess, as far as what the team's looking for. But in this room, I just think obviously we added some guys, veterans and guys with experience, but also good guys who have good character and want to do whatever it takes to get it done. So yeah, obviously deadlines can shake out one or two ways, and some teams scratch their head when it happens. Some teams like to move. So yeah, you see how it plays out in the long run.
Sheldon, any lineup changes that were 11-7 maybe, or anything like that?
Lafferty's going to go in for Aston Reese.
What's your sense of that Brody McCabe pairing, and what do they have to do to play their best consistently?
Just like everybody else, minimize mistakes. Those guys have had tough matchups and have defended really well. If you look at anything with them, I think their issues would be similar to our team in a lot of ways, where things have not gone well, which is that just not spending enough time on offense, and that would really be it. That's impacting them. They're defending too much, which is wearing them down, and not on the offensive side nearly enough. So they can't get any positive momentum. It can't get going that way, and it impacts their numbers and all those kind of things pretty dramatically, because the offense just hasn't been there. Defensively, they actually haven't given up very much, more than anything they ever gave up in the regular season. But look at their numbers as a whole, it looks bad, but it's offense is lacking, and that's an issue for our whole team.
How would you assess that power play in the last game systematically compared to actually the results in game one?
I missed the first part of the question. Sorry.
How do you assess the power play? Were you did you like?
Yeah, I liked a lot about it. We were 6 for 6 on our entries and setups. Got spent lots of time in the zone. Lots of puck time. More than enough scoring chances to score. You got to make good on your chances, though. We got to find a way to get in the net. That's really it. I'm sure they'll make adjustments today. Our guys, look at some different things and see what they can do. But in terms of process, there's not a lot there we would have done differently in game one, because I thought we generated, like I said, lots of puck time, lots of good looks. Some of our best players having real clean looks at the net. So just stay with it.
Why is now the right time to bring Lafferty back?
He's got a lot of pace to his game, and we think that can help. That's really it, to be honest. We're just kind of looking at keeping him involved. Obviously, when we first sat he and Aston Reese together, when we went 11-7, it didn't intend to keep him out for the 2 games, but that's just the way that it worked out. Having Bunting back in the mix, changes the dynamic of that line a little bit. And, so the speed factor is one thing. Getting Kerfoot back on the left side is one thing. So it's just, kind of looking at all those different factors and making a decision to get him in.
How do you guys execute playing more offensively 5-on-5 on the other end?
Well, I got to spend less time in our end. I didn't think we had it. We didn't have a lot of issues breaking out the other night. It was more so just extended time in our zone. So that's a big part of it. Second period was really good in a lot of areas that way. So more of that type of play would certainly help us.
When you watch some of the other playoff teams right now, you can see definitively who those teams are. Have you guys played enough Maple Leafs hockey in the playoffs?
I mean, I think we always want to look. You always want to be on offense more. I think that a couple of things. You know, our top guys, Matthews especially. I think anytime he was on the ice in the Tampa series, I think very much it looked like the Maple Leaf hockey you're used to seeing. But our group has changed. It's not the Maple Leafs teams that you're used to seeing all over the years and talking about, and all these. Like, the group has changed, so the look of the game is going to be different, and the wins are going to look different. So I think there's some of that you're seeing that is it is different. You know, we've lost some of this, maybe the speed and skill and ability to transport the puck that we've had in the past. But we're a lot more competitive and defensively responsible and all these kind of things. So sometimes the games are going to look a little differently. But that said, we would like each line to be able to get on the attack and play more out of our end. It hasn't happened enough for us consistently. Like I said, I think our top people have been pretty good in that regard. But we've defended well. We've been smart. We've been responsible. We made mistakes the other night that we didn't make in the Tampa series. And that's why we're still playing today, because we didn't make those mistakes very often in the Tampa series. I think that's where we've gotten better. I think we're a much smarter team in terms of how we play, much more experienced, much more diligent that way. So it may not always look the way that we want it to, but we believe that the process is there good enough that we won't beat ourselves. I thought we beat ourselves in a lot of ways the other night, not to take anything away from Florida, because they certainly played a great hockey game and made it tough on us. But there's some mistakes there. You clean that up and you score on a couple of your chances, all of a sudden you're on the other side of it. And I think really that's really what we're looking to do, is get on the right side of it.
Can you take anything from the Tampa series in terms of how the team responded from game 1 to game 2?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you can't help but to do that. Obviously, that's not what we want to do. You'd like to be up 1-0 and all of that, but you have been through it, so you have the confidence with that. You can't just lean on that. You can't just expect that it's going to happen. We have to prepare differently, you know, in the sense that it's a different opponent, make different adjustments and discuss different things and put the focus in different areas. But yeah, the mindset and the confidence that comes from having found our way back and to get the split here at home and then get it on the road and do the job on the road, like all those things certainly give the group confidence. But you know, you've got a team on the other side here now. When you get into round 2, it's the difference. The other team on the other side, they've dealt with all sorts of different things and done really well and found their way through it. So the challenge becomes greater in that regard. So we're not certainly settling for the fact that because it happened before, it's going to happen again. You got to get out on the ice and make it happen.